It has been all too long. So this does feel a little bit awkward, but I think I've got something to talk about. So firstly, it's been a really long time since I've recorded a video. So hey y'all, how's it going? How you doing? But yeah, it's nice, I suppose, to do this again. I feel like I've been wanting to do this for a while now, but I needed to make sure that it was the right time. So as you can probably tell by the title of this video, I want to talk about social media, and I want to talk about the last 12 months. So people who know me, who are my friends, and who I talk to regularly will know that I just took a year away from social media. And there were many reasons why I did that. And part of it I want to talk about in this video. And the part I want to talk about is just the fact that I didn't know how to do social media well. I am someone who is an advocate for self-love. That sounds really like new age self-love, but I'm an advocate for that. I'm an advocate for finding out who you are and growing in yourself. Just like growing in who you are in God and finding your identity, and just women specifically, but I suppose humanity in general, just knowing who you are and being confident in who you are and in who God made you to be. And I just found that like I would talk the talk, and I would try my best to walk the walk and be confident and be comfortable in my own skin. And yet I would find myself on Instagram or on Facebook, although I don't know, no one in my generation goes on Facebook anymore, or Snapchat at the time, or just social media in general. I'd be on there in moments of my day where I was vulnerable. So I was hungry, or I was tired, or I was bored and I didn't have anything else to do. But what I also found is that I was on there without even thinking about it. That's just how used to social media I became. I would pick up my phone and I'd be flicking on social media. Let's talk specifically about Instagram. I'd pick up my phone and just click on Instagram without even thinking about it. And there'd be a reason why I'd pick up my phone. I'd pick it up to go on YouTube, or I'd pick it up to call someone, or to search something, to Google something, whatever it would have been at the time. And yet somehow my go-to, without it's like my brain had an automatic signal that it would send to my thumb to click on Instagram, or to click on Snapchat, or whatever it was. And I'd click on it and I'd scroll through, and all I would see is people that I know, maybe people that I would have gone to school with, or people that or celebrities, or people that I followed. And I'd scroll through and I'd see how happy they were. And I know that people post the best version of themselves on social media. I know that because I too used to do it. I know that people we get a snapshot into people's best lives on social media, and the fact is that in reality not everyone is always that happy all the time. Not everyone is living my best life, or whatever it is, all the time. And I know that, but yet somehow I saw these pictures, or I saw these stories, or I saw these feeds of whatever. I saw them and I'd realize, and I'd, without thinking or being in my vulnerable place, whatever that might be, and I'd look at it and I'd start comparing, and I'd start saying, why isn't my life there? Or why is it that I'm not in a happy place like they are? And why isn't my skin clear? Or why isn't my hair, my curl so correctly, and why aren't my curls popping? Why aren't they so perfectly formed as these other girls that I'm looking at, or other women that I'm looking at on social media? And I just got myself into a bit of a dark hole, and I just really felt an urge, I suppose, or if I'm being honest, I felt like God said, okay, Naomi, it's time for you to take a break. And so that's what I did. It was hard. The first few months were hard. And if I'm being really, 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 really honest, like 100, I didn't go an entire year. I did 11 months. So it was up until September. And within those 11 months, I think I had 2, maybe 3, but I can definitely remember 2 binges where I went on social media initially to stalk someone, to Facebook, to Insta stalk someone. And then ended up having like a complete binge session where I was on there for like maybe an hour. And then I was like, right, I need to get back on track, just jump back on the horse and get on with it and crack on. Like you took this break for a reason. So it was 11 months, October last year to September this year. And also there was gaps in between, if I'm being really, really honest. But for the most part, I think I did pretty good. How did I get there? What was I saying? I can't remember. But anyways, oh yeah, that was it. Like people were living, posting their best lives or whatever, and there was just me, and I just could not. I'd always leave social media, no matter how many positive posts were also on there. I'd leave social media less happy than I was before I picked up my phone and gone on it in the first place. So I just knew that I needed to take a break. And in this year, my goal was to do a bit of soul searching, I think, which I definitely have, but also to figure out, because I've not known how to do it well, figure out how to do it well, figure out what my flaws are and what the flaws of social media are, and you know, if there are any, and just figure out how to do social media well. So I suppose this video is for anyone really, but specifically people in my generation who have grown up and have slowly become accustomed to social media being like life. And the reality of it is, as a millennial, I think I spent most of my life where I wasn't working, where I wasn't sleeping, and where there wasn't someone else around for me to talk to. If I was on my own, I would, without fail, be on social media. And that's a problem. Like, it's a problem because, well, we know, like, the statistics are out there. We know that in today's day and age, people are committing suicide. People are depressed because they're so isolated in something that was supposed to connect us. It's made us more isolated than ever before, because all we're doing is living our lives like this. So yeah, people know that it's a problem. But anyway, all that waffle aside, I just want to finish by talking about 3 lessons that I've learned from taking this break from social media. And there's so much more that I could get into when it comes to this break. But the 3 main things I want to talk about are just lessons that I've learned in this break. So the first lesson that I've learned in taking this break from social media is that people you love and people that love you, those are the people that I realized I need to realize that I need to put first, or the people that are important to me. That's what I'm trying to say. I figured out the people that are important to me and that I'm important to them in this year. The reason I say that is because when you're on social media, people post regularly, and I think that's like I suppose that's a good part of social media. People post quite regularly, and so Joe Blogs from down the road, who I haven't seen since secondary school maybe, but we were all right, we were mates. I can pick up my phone and I can go through Instagram, or I can watch their Snapchat feeds or whatever, and I can see that they've gotten a new job or whatever. But am I going to pick up the phone to call this person? No. Is this person going to pick up the phone to call me? No. the people that I associated with in one specific season of my life, I might follow them, and it might be a pretty cool thing for me to see, oh, they've got this, that, and the other going on for them. But at the end of the day, this person doesn't care about me enough to pick up the phone and call me, or might not even have my number. And equally, me, them, if I'm being really honest, they're not someone that I consider really close to me now. And so, no, I'm not going to pick up the phone and call them. And so what I've learned is that you really get to know the people that, you really get to realize the people that know about you and care about you when you take a break from social media, when you take a break and you're not posting all the time, or people don't hear from you all the time. Then all of a sudden you're like, okay, on my day off, I have time now because I'm not on social media. I have time now to think about people and wonder what they're doing, and genuinely pick up the phone and call them and be like, hi, how are you? Because I care about them enough to want to know what's going on in their life and to know how they're doing. And so I make the effort to do that. Social media made me lazy. It made me find out about people through social media. As I'm scrolling through, I get to see what they post, right? But actually there's a difference between scrolling and picking up the phone, or even making a FaceTime or WhatsApp call or whatever, to talk to the person that concerns you, that you're thinking about or whatever. Which leads me to concern, or leads me to the lesson rather, number 2, is that, like I've already said, people post the best versions of themselves on social media. And so even though I was in this place beforehand of, oh my goodness me, my life is so rubbish and their lives are so good, actually what I did learn is that people who could have posted that day about how great life is, I'm on the other side of that, looking at them and going, oh, they're doing so well. Little did I know that when I pick up the phone to call them, actually they're not in a good place at all. And the only way I was able to find that out was by picking up the phone to call them in the first place. In other words, people post what they want to post, but they don't always post the truth. Same as me. I post what I want to post, but I may not always post the truth. Not that people are supposed to spill their guts out on social media, absolutely not. But social media only tells you so much. There is nothing like human interaction. There's nothing like having a phone conversation to really talk to someone, to really get to know how they're doing, how they're feeling, encouraging them, all these kinds of things. Social media only goes so far. And so what I learned in this is it's so much better to really and honestly and truly have contact with people, have phone conversations, if, you know, it is like it is in my case, to where a lot of my loved ones live away from me. It's so important to stay connected to people that you care about, but also, just people in general. You just don't know what people are going through, and so make sure you make an effort to do that. The last thing, I feel like I'm waffling a lot, but I hope you're bearing with me. The last lesson I learned from having this year away from social media is that we live in a world where all we do a lot of the time, most of the time, is consume. Social media, the internet in general, we just consume and consume and consume and consume a lot of information, and it's just a lot. And I think what I found in myself from social media is that I spent a lot of time being inspired by other people, which isn't a bad thing. It's good to be inspired, but being inspired by what I saw, but then wanting to replicate what I saw. And what I saw, isn't always negative things. I saw incredible things that people are doing. And then I was like, I want to do that. But what happens when you see that and you want to replicate that is that it removes any layers of creativity when all you do is see, when all you do is consume and consume and consume. Actually, there's no space for you to be creative in that. Whereas in this year-ish that I've had away from social media, I've had space to think and be creative. I've had space to not just want to see something and do it. For example, in the area of like fashion, not that I'm any sort of fashionista, far from it, but the reason why fast fashion sells is because, especially in this day and age, is because on social media you see that celebrity A, I'm not going to say any names, but celebrity A is wearing wearing mum jeans. And don't get me wrong, I love a good pair of mum jeans. I'm wearing the mum jeans today, but it's just an example. Celebrity A is wearing mum jeans. The next thing you know, Topshop, Zara, Primark, New Look, and any other one of those high street shops are filled with mum jeans. And people are wearing them left, right, and centre. And before you know it, you turn up to a party or you turn up to an event or whatever, and you're wearing the same pair of jeans as someone else. Why? Because everyone is on the same thing. Whereas there's this other person who hasn't been on social media and turns up to this party wearing skinny jeans, excuse the example, or wearing bell-bottom jeans or whatever. And people see it, and actually what they're wearing is really cool. What they're wearing is unique. But that uniqueness came because of the fact that they weren't surrounding themselves, or they weren't consumed with what was popular and what was, popping at that time. Like, no, actually, they've had that space to be creative. They've had that space to be inspired, yes, but also be inspired with their own mind and with their own creativity. And I think, what I'm trying to get at is social media. I find, or being surrounded and being stimulated by too much, it just what's the word? Compresses, I think maybe is the right word, or it dumbs down or it dulls down people's level of creativity. And so all that to say, I feel like now that I'm back on social media, one, I want to be a positive influence, and in everything I do and everything I post, I want to make sure I'm posting from a healthy place and from a right place, but also I want to be able to have conversations with people and not be, socially awkward, or have conversations with people and have them know that I genuinely do care about what they have to say, and vice versa. But also I want to be able to be creative and be me, be the me that God has created me to be, without me trying to fill someone else's shoes and be like another person. I think it's good to have, people that you look up to. Please don't hear me wrong in what I'm saying here, but I just think there's a certain individuality that gets lost when we try to be like other people and try to be like what everyone else is doing. I once heard a preacher say that God can't bless who you pretend to be. In other words, be yourself, because that's who God blesses. That's what God blesses. That's what God puts his stamp of approval on. He puts his stamp of approval on who you pretend to be. I think I've said everything I want to say. And again, if you're watching this and if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. But also, I hope that this venting session, this me talking to a screen is helpful and is encouraging and challenges you. I think more of us need to learn the art of saying no, and saying no well. It's so much easier to say no. It's so much more challenging to say no to something as opposed to not having the choice in the first place. So we have the choice. We have the choice to say no to social media today. So why not choose to sit down and read a book, or choose to spend time with your loved ones and actually have a conversation, face-to-face conversation with your friend or your family member, instead of going to pick up your phone, as opposed to not having access to these things at all. Choose to say no sometimes. And yeah, thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next video that I post.